everyone. Welcome to this week's Go Get That Rose, the Bachelor off-season, one of our episodes. And I'm your host, Sarah, and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host, J Wade.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Go Get That Rose, where we have all kinds of Bachelor stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so much. No, nothing. Really nothing. At all. It is the off season of Bachelor, and we wanted to keep our podcast going. And lucky for us, Hannah, our girl, is still on Dancing with the Stars, so we can kind of talk about her to drag out the Bachelor talk. So Hannah last night was Dancing with the Stars. It was a movie themed night, which I love. That's fun.
Yeah, always. Yeah,
fun.
Except I can't remember what movie her theme was, but all I remember is it started and I'm like, man, it's another stupid marriage theme.
It was Bridesmaids, which I did not get from the
It was a Wilson Phillips song, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so full disclosure, I've never seen Bridesmaids.
Me neither.
Okay, cool. So I watched the clip on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Facebook, and I had no idea what this movie was. And then I went and watched the whole episode. And when they said Bridesmaids, I was like, really? Like, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just forever going to be known as the girl who was on Bachelorette. Well, no matter what she does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, she's eating it up. I love her.
She is.
I think she's great. She was like in the middle of the pack last night. She fell down. I mean, she didn't literally fall down, but like from the rankings, like
right.
She had a little rough. I thought the dance was honestly was boring. Like, it was all right.
Yeah, it was.
And I actually listened to like what the judges say, because normally I skip over because I just can't stand it. But I listened to them, and they were right. Like, they were talking about like her lyrical, like she has very nice like movements in her arms, and they're so like, I don't know, just really pretty and really smooth, and that does come from the ballet she said that she did for years and years. But they're saying like she needs to work more on her hips and her lower body and do more of that like ballroom dancing stuff, because all the dances she's done have been very like arms heavy and upper body heavy. So I think that's really like gonna be like if she stands out or not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if she makes it, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, Dawson's Creek tore it up. I mean, he tore it up.
They did the same dance, right? I think they both did the Ramba.
I'm not sure. I don't know anything about kinds of dances or style of dance or anything. It's just all dancing. I only know from
watching this show. So I think they both did the Ramba, and yeah, his was good too. I think the Ramba is like very boring to me, just because it's all like that hip and very slow and stuff. So it's not that fun to watch. Personally.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, everyone, there's a lot of them that dance the Ramba, and I was like, okay, this is boring. Like, next. Like,
he just has great movement, and with his leg, when he took his leg up and kind of spun it around a little bit, and his arm, like how he would move his arms, it was like a little bit of ballet type stuff, and it reminded me a lot of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode from last season, when Mac came out as gay and he did this amazing dance. And it was just like, it's one of the most amazing dances I've ever seen. And it just reminded me a lot of that, of the arm movements and the leg and stuff like that. Dude, Dawson's Creek is definitely surprising me here.
Yeah, I still think it'll probably be them in the top two, and the girl that like won does she win? I don't know. The alley dancer girl. I don't know. I'm starting to see some other people moving up. I'm like, okay, I see it, but we'll see. I'm starting to get really into this now. This is a problem.
Yeah, well, I'm still just focused on three people is all I care about, is the Hannah B, Dawson's Creek, and Sean Spicer is just cracking me up.
So good.
It was. I mean, his legs are still stiff, but he is loosening them up a little bit. And
I was entertained. I was like, okay,
yeah, yeah. And it was funny because there for a minute he was, not for a minute literally, but for probably 10, 15 seconds, he was doing a move where he wasn't moving his legs at all. And the girl was dancing around him. And I'm like, dude, you're utilizing what he can and can't do. He can't move his legs very well, so you just keep him in one spot.
Yeah, well, that's what is a good choreographer, and that's why I think the men dancers kind of get screwed over more, especially if, like, you can't dance, is because, like, the females, it's easier, like, they can just dance around them and be like, oh, look at the girl, she's doing twirls and stuff, and the guy's standing there, like, just moving his hips, where I feel like if you're like a girl dancer, like a girl celebrity, you have to be the one that does that. So you need to look just as professional as the guy dancer. So
yeah, I can. Yeah,
you know what I
is.
mean? Like,
yep.
I think sometimes it's a little unfair because they're like, oh, you have to be as good. Where like the guy just stand there, like just move your hips a little bit, like it's fine.
It probably goes back to the old. To the old stereotypes between genders, you know how men aren't very good at dancing, but women are better at moving their bodies for dancing, and that probably has a little bit to do with it. But yeah. Sean Spicer though, he's entertaining. And he's got a great smile too. You can tell he's having fun.
Exactly, you can tell like he's not taking this too seriously. Like he's not. Like, you can tell, like, he's just trying to have fun. And I want to know if the other contestants, like, how they interact with him. Like, I'm just curious. Like,
Right. I'd say maybe some of them were a little apprehensive at first, but if they have to be warming up to him, because he's any way behind the scenes, how he presents himself when he's dancing and when he's talking after dancing, then he comes off as a guy who is at least approachable and can carry conversation and is not, maybe not too much of a jerk. I mean, I don't know the guy, but like I said, if he is behind the scenes the way he comes off on camera with the big smile and stuff, then you would assume that he'd be a pleasant guy to talk to.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's too hard to like handle or like diva like.
Right.
Yeah, Well, she will be there next week, and we will be covering Hannah again next week. Good, we still have content to talk about for a few more weeks. And real fast, Bachelor in Paradise got nominated for People's Choice Awards. I don't watch People's Choice Awards, but I think Hannah also got nominated for Best Reality Lead or something.
That's the world we live in now, where Bachelor in Paradise is nominated for a People's Choice Award. Well, not just a People's Choice, but any kind of award. It's like, man, that's really where we're at now.
Actually, oh my gosh. Right. Let's think about this.
I mean, wow. I mean, we had all these wonderful and amazing civilizations and cultures throughout history. The Mongolians, the Greeks, the Romans, just so many magnificent cultures and mathematics from just everything. You think about all of these magnificent things and the discoveries in science and technology, and here we are. Bachelor in Paradise is nominated for an award. Dude, it's all gone to hell now.
Well, I'm not that upset. No, I was kidding. Whatever. Well, like, you have to think, like, it's all
just
young,
funny.
Like, millennial people, probably. Yeah. So, of course, they're gonna...
It's just funny what is deemed as important these days, and it's
Paradise,
just...
obviously.
Obviously.
That's my whole life.
So much tears, so much crying, so much... It's just...
crying.
It's great entertainment.
I mean, we've got a whole podcast based around this ridiculousness.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's stupid. And thank you for being stupid. So, because it helps us put out content. So that's awesome.
I don't even think the people that go on the show like take it seriously, like as like
Right.
some of the fans do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the leads are like, this is ridiculous, because you hear a lot of them say like, I did not think this was gonna work, but like the process actually does. But then you see like the crazy super fans, and you're like, okay, people, like calm down. Like this is not the most important thing.
Nicole, though, she obviously takes it very seriously.
Well, yeah, then you have some of those contestants that like, oh my god, like for real. But I mean, I always think it's funny, and I guess I don't know, I always think it's funny the really young contestants, the ones that are like, because you'll have the wave of the girls that are like 23, because I think you have to be at least 21 to be able to apply. But I think or 22, I think the youngest they have is like 22. And so you'll have like the 22-year-olds to like the 25-year-old girls, and then the ones that are older than that, like 26 to, I don't know, like 36, I think is probably the oldest.
Right.
Like depending on the age of the Bachelor. And I always think it's so funny because you'll have like the younger girls. I mean, they're girls around my age, but you have them that are like, whenever they get sent home or whatever, they start crying like, I guess there's no one out there for me, or like, I just want to be, and I'm just like, girl, you're beautiful, like go to a bar. Like
go to a bar.
Like it's always funny to me, like just girls are like, I just thought I'd be a mom at this point, like, and maybe it's because, I mean, like, I know it's a lot coming from me, someone who's 23 and married already, but I did not think at 23 I would be married. Like that was not in the cards for, like, I was not that girl that's like, I want to get married right away. Like I did not think that. So I just always find it funny when people go on the show and they're like 23 and they're like, I've been single for so long. I'm like, you're only 23, like go live life. Like I don't know. Like go explore.
Yeah, I'm like, 40 and I'm still living life. I'm not ready to settle down yet. Are you kidding me, dude? Yeah, I love doing what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I love the people on the show sometimes. I'm like, okay.
They are entertaining, that's for sure.
They really, especially like Nicole. I just feel like Nicole is that person that in her head had it planned out by like 20, 22. She was going to be married and start a family young. Like, you know what I mean? And now that she's like, I don't know, I think she's like 25. I might be wrong. But now that she's like 25, she's probably like freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, she's 3 years behind schedule, man. That's the end of the world.
On, girl, what are you doing? Like, be a mom.
She's ruining everything.
But so we have decided for the rest of our episode to just ask each other some just fun questions. Just really get to know each other more. Let you guys, our audience, I guess, get to know us. I love listening to podcasts and getting to know like the people that I'm listening to, obviously. But really just kind of helps you like form a relationship with them without like getting to like see them. And I don't know, that sounds weird, but you know, we're just gonna I don't know what's happening. See, now
weird.
I'm weird, guys. Now you know the secret's out. Anyway, so we have some. I came up with a bunch. Jay might have his own or might have used whatever I found. I literally just went online. It was like getting to know you questions. Like just found a whole bunch of them. So one I'll just start off. One that I like to know about people is, are you a Coke person or a Pepsi person? Unless you don't drink soda, then that just ruins.
Right. And well, there's one of my questions for you after this one then. Okay. The answer to that would be, oh man. See, I've got to pick one that I like more over the other because I do like both. My grandpa was a Coke guy. Probably that's because he grew up when they put cocaine in it. My dad's a Pepsi guy. I'm a Mountain Dew guy personally, but if it's down to Pepsi or Coke, if it's an ice cold can, I will go with Coke. If it's in a bottle, I'll go with Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that so you don't have to? Or is that
no?
There's life?
It's weird, but there is some like
there
Coke
is a difference between
Coke in a bottle doesn't taste very good, but Coke ice cold Coke in a can tastes good.
I completely agree. I am a Coke girl all the way. And before I didn't really care, but I worked at Chick-fil-A for like 4.5 years, and Chick-fil-A only has like Coke products. So that's all I drank was like Coke. So I just like the taste of it a lot. I mean, they basically taste the same, but there's a little something like different, like a very little difference. Like some people will be like, who cares? Like, what's the difference? But after drinking Coke for like 5 years and not Pepsi, like you kind of notice.
Right. And then you've got McDonald's Coke, which is like crack because they put that lemon in it. They put a little bit of lemon in their Coke, and it's just so good. Yeah. Yeah. It's so good.
Yes, McDonald's Coke all the way. Yeah. Or Sprite. I usually get Sprite. I like
Sprite's not bad. Sprite's not bad.
Sprite, yeah.
I definitely don't like 7-Up and
so there's a difference between the 7-Up and Sprite. Like I always drink Sprite all day long.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But Sprite can get old really fast.
Yes.
But it is one of the very few sodas that and I just said soda, but that was just to appease you. But it's one of the I say pop that we say pop around here. Yeah. It's one of the few it's one of the few that you can drink warm. Like it still doesn't taste bad drinking warm. Yeah, Sprite.
Huh, yeah. I never thought about that. You're absolutely right. Because some sodas you drink warm or pops. Sorry, you drink warm and you're like, I don't know about this, but Sprite, that tastes good no matter what. Yeah,
and I found that Dr. Pepper's not too bad warm either.
Yeah.
And Sunkist, that's not too bad warm either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now I'm gonna have to really like pay attention.
I mean, and I'm not saying that like I'm gonna take a Sunkist out of the refrigerator and let it get warm
it sit there.
So I can drink it. I'm just, if there's none cold and there's a warm one sitting there, I got no issue popping that top and drinking it. So.
Will you drink like lukewarm or room temperature like drinks?
I prefer not to, but if that's all there is to drink, then yeah.
Because I know people are like, I will not drink room temperature bottled waters, but I don't care. Like, I'm like, it's water, it's fine. Like,
oh yeah, I can't do that now.
Really?
I don't even like water. To me, water's worthless. It's to me. Yeah, the point of drinking something is the point of drinking something is to taste it. And
water does have a taste, though.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Unless you buy some stupid flavored water, and I'm just talking about water.
No, yeah, water definitely has, like, are you one of those people that don't think that different brands of water have different taste? Because they do.
Well, all right. What you're like calling taste, I would call, I don't know, chemicals or whatever is in it. I don't know.
It's just not like
water's
like
water.
Raspberries, but it has a specific like. Oh yeah, that's water. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
No, I don't have the slightest idea what you mean.
Okay, well, never mind.
No, I don't know. Just water doesn't seem to have any flavor to me, so I don't like drinking it. So.
Okay.
I mean, I'll drink Kool-Aid, like, has water in it, but it has something else in it to make it taste good. But you won't
drink, like, just a glass of water?
Not unless it's super hot, or if I'm outside working or something like that, then I will, yeah. But, I mean,
and
if
I'm
just...
it has to be, like, ice cold, then...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're not just going to drink, like, a Luke.
No, well, I've drank hot water that had just got done boiling before because I was so dehydrated, and I was... Yeah, I was so terribly dehydrated. I was at this rainbow hippie gathering in the middle of the woods in Pennsylvania, and it was so hot and humid, and we hiked for miles all night to try to get to the main drum circle camping area, and
okay,
it just was terrible, dude. It was so hot and humid, and a bunch of you know how hippies are. They all peed in the creek, so everybody had to boil their water after that. So we're just on the trail, and people are coming back with boiled water, and I had to have water, dude. And I just asked him, I'm like, man, can I please have a drink of your water? And he's like, it's hot, man. We just got done boiling it. And I'm like, I do not care. And I drank it, and it was terrible. And then I was still dehydrated, and I found some people giving away slices of watermelon. And I hate watermelon so much that I was like, well, screw it, dude. I'm like, I'm dying here. I need something. It's watermelon. And so I got a piece of it, and I took one bite, and I spit it out and handed it to my friend. I was like, I don't care if I die, dude. I'm not eating watermelon.
So watermelon's my favorite fruit. I could eat watermelon. I could eat a whole watermelon by myself. Like, I love it.
You're crazy.
So do you like watermelon flavored things, or you just don't like watermelon?
Mainly I just don't like watermelon. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste of like an actual watermelon.
It is weird.
Yeah, like if you give me like a watermelon flavored Jolly Rancher, it's not my favorite flavor, but I'll suck on that thing. So
okay,
you know. Right. But I mean, I'm not. Yeah, it's mainly just the actual watermelon. But I mean, like for example, I love ketchup. I hate tomatoes.
Oh, I hate ketchup.
What?
We're like the complete opposites.
You're nuts, man.
I mean, I'll eat ketchup, but like I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of ketchup. It's not my favorite, but I love tomatoes.
Yeah, see, that is the exact opposite of me there. And like, I love French fries, but I can't stand mashed potatoes. I can't stand baked potatoes. I can't stand like when you dice the potatoes and then cook them in a skillet over the burners. I don't like that. I just like, fries? Yeah, I don't care if and the home style hash browns, I don't like those. I like the compressed hash browns like at McDonald's or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, mashed potatoes is that's the absolute worst ever. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of mashed potatoes, so.
Yeah.
All right.
You say pop or soda?
Soda.
All right, yeah, that's we talked about that on Afterlife once, and I Googled where that came from, and the East Coast is soda because they use the soda fountains, and then they would have to import it into the inner part of the country, and so it would be in bottles, and it was the sound that it made when they would take the bottle off of the cap off the bottle, so that's where pop came from. So around here we say pop.
So does like the Midwest say that they say pop, and like is the coast thing soda then?
More so than not. I won't say it's 100% because I do hear people around here say soda as well. Okay. It's I've noticed it.
I think like the South coast they say pop. I think it just depends.
Yeah, I think it's big down in the South too, saying pop.
Yeah. I don't think anyone in New Jersey is going to say pop. I've heard a few people say it, but I think maybe Maryland down, I could see them saying pop, but I think Maryland up, it's going to be soda.
Yeah, you'd know more about that East Coast stuff than I would.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
so great. Love
Being
it.
from the East Coast, I don't know how the living around there is, but one of the questions that I had come up with was because I don't know, but I've told you this before, how in my mind you're just like this really sweet innocent girl, and you're just like this sweet innocent girl. So I wanted to ask you this: did you ever have a rebel phase in your teenage years?
A rebel phase?
Or maybe you have always been a rebel, and I'm just totally wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not the sweet. No, maybe, but I don't think other people consider a rebel phase. I've always been growing up, I kind of had, I wouldn't say that they were the strictest parents, but my parents were definitely strict. Like, they definitely, like, they wouldn't let me, like, go out certain places, or I would have to be, like, with a group of friends, or I don't know. Like, they were parents. Like, they were very involved in my life. And then when I never really, like, got upset or didn't care about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I really ever rebelled about that. But then when I got, like, 18 and I was getting ready to, like, graduate high school and, like, start college and try to figure things out, I think that's when I wouldn't say rebel, but that's when I started to kind of, like, you're trying to figure out forming that personality and, like, relationship with your parents outside of being their child. And especially, like, it's just me, and I have my older brother who's, like, 8 years older than me. So I'm the baby and the only daughter. So there's definitely, like, that kind of relationship too with my parents. Yeah. So I don't know, like, I don't really think I wasn't, like, wild or crazy, but I didn't try to push and break boundaries too much. But I mean, like, there's one time, like, I went to a New Year's Eve party and my parents knew about it, and I was spending the night at someone's house, and they knew there was going to be alcohol there, and they didn't want me underage drinking. But I did, and they were not happy about that. But I'm also the kind of person that, like, I can't keep secrets. I feel guilty about everything. I will tell people, like, I came home and I was, like, throwing up, and my parents were like, "Were you drinking?" And I was like, "No." And then I literally told them, like, right away. Or, like, one time I might have allegedly broken into a factory, on off the record. Not that anyone's gonna listen to this, but, you know, with a group of my friends, and it was abandoned. Well, one half of it is abandoned, but that's the part we broke into. But I think that's the only rebel thing
right.
I did. I don't know. Is that
it's
bad?
better than being totally square, so.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I pushed the envelope. No. I don't know. I also think, like, I have a really good relationship with my parents, so I never really felt the need to, like, have to rebel against them. Or, I mean, I, like, cut my hair, dyed my hair, or got tattoos that they weren't, like, happy that I was getting tattoos, but
Oh, you have tattoos?
I do.
Oh, you're not sweet and innocent.
I'm not.
What are they of?
So I have 4 tattoos. They're little tattoos. I haven't gone and gotten, like, a big sleeve or anything yet.
Right.
But I have one tattoo. It's the word always, and it's a matching tattoo with my best friend. And it has the Harry Potter stars next to it, because we both love Harry Potter, and it's what Snape says in Harry Potter, and it has all this, like, meaning. So, like, all my tattoos have meanings, because I'm that person that's like, if I'm going to get tattoos, I want them to be meaningful. But I don't think you have to have, like, if you want to get a tattoo of something, like, do it, like, whatever, who cares.
Yeah.
But for me, because I'm like, for me, like, I need things to be important enough to be on there forever, so I don't end up regretting it. Like, that's just how I work. So I have that one. I have a little yellow umbrella, because How I Met Your Mother is my favorite TV show, and it really means a lot to me. And yeah, so I have that. I just got the moon. It's like a crescent moon with, like, pornism, so it has, like, the dots and stuff, like, on the outside of it, or on the, not the outside, on, like, the line.
Crescent moon with pornism?
No, not not porn. Pointillism.
What kind of stuff are you into here, Sarah?
No, I'm innocent, I promise. No, like, it's like the dots, like, it's like the
right.
Wow, okay.
I was totally kidding, Sarah.
I was like, did I say porn? Like, I
didn't. No, you didn't. I just was kidding.
My heart was, like, pounding. But I had that, and my husband is eventually going to get the sun. So that's going to be, like, a matching. And then I just got one with my mom. So like all my tattoos are like tied to other people.
Right,
like,
right.
oh,
that
okay.
makes sense.
And it's a heart. It's like a little heart that has like waves, like ocean waves that form the heart, because we both grew up. I mean, she would take me to the beach because we live like 45 minutes from the beach, the shore, whatever people call it. And we'd always go, and I'd always like play in the water and like stuff with her. So it's just significant, and
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So they all had meaning, but I mean, at first, like when I first told my parents, like I'm gonna get a tattoo, they were not thrilled. But then my mom was like, "Well, we can get a matching tattoo," so now she's totally on board. So
that's cool. That's funny. Hell yeah. Yeah, I got one that has not much significance. Well, I don't know. It's just that it's a number 13. It's good luck to get a number 13 tattoo on Friday the 13th. And so me and one of my... What's that?
Is that what you did?
Yeah, me and a friend went and got 13 tattoos on a Friday the 13th. And it's green with some blood splatter over it. And... it looks terrible, and I want to get it touched up and fixed a little bit, and I want to have it changed from the number 13 into my favorite number, which is 1134. Just because I don't know, you know how it goes, man. You have a good friend, you go get matching tattoos, and that good friend turns out to be a stupid fucking asshole, and you know, that's how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I've got one, and I want to get it fixed. I've got, I've got ideas for other tattoos I'd like, but it's always the lack of money when it comes to that kind of stuff.
For real. Plus, like, you want to make sure, like, it's a good, like, value and a good place, and because it's going to be on your body forever, so you don't.
Yeah, mine's on my cheek, so that was a bad move.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
I was like, oh no.
No, I would never do that. No. You know, I ain't nothing to look at, but still, I would never destroy my decent looking face with a tattoo.
Is it on your neck? No, I was kidding.
No, I wouldn't do that either. No.
You wouldn't do a neck tattoo?
No, I wouldn't. Nope.
No, nope. Mine are all small, but they're all in areas that I could hide if needed for jobs, because it sucks, but, like, you never know. Like, my dad always says, like, don't give someone a reason not to hire you, like, with tattoos. So I just try and cover them up. But, yeah. We're going to take a quick break right now so you can listen to some promos for some other shows you can find on this podcast feed.
Hey everybody, Jay Wade here to tell you about Afterlive, our unofficial Collider Live after show podcast that's like sitting in your living room on a Saturday night hanging with your friends. Sarah, Kaylin, Mike, and I talk about everything from Roxy being directionally challenged, Christian never having watched a thing, Darina's witchy ways, Makuga being scared of everything, to Yodi screaming that it's not a big fucking deal. Find us on Merc with a Movie blog on all your podcasting platforms, including Anchor. Talk to you then.
Hey there, Schmodown fans. This is Josh the Merc Rainer, and I am here to tell you about my show, Talkin' Schmodown. Whether it's Andrew Guy getting hit with a chair, John Roca screaming, outlaw, or the emotional retirement of the Shire Wolves, I talk about it all. So you can catch me right here on Anchor and all the other major podcasting platforms. So, as I ask every episode, are you ready to talk Schmodown? I am.
Okay, welcome back. We're gonna just ask a couple more questions. I mean, we only asked like a few, but it's fine. So do you have another question? Do you want to start with another question?
Yes. This is something that I love asking people. Do you believe in aliens?
Oh man. I don't know.
What?
I'm really conflicted. Is that an answer? I don't know. I'm torn.
Yeah, of course it's an answer.
I don't know. I don't think there's aliens like aliens that have been what's the word, shown like on TV. Like I don't think they're like little green people or things like that. But I definitely think, and like Christian Harloff says it all the time, like there has to be more than just us. Like you have to be stupid to not think that there's other life forms, like we don't know like the world, the universe is like infinite and huge. Like we have no idea what's out there. Like but I don't think there's like green alien people like that. I don't know.
Do you think that aliens that I think I think we'd both agree that there's got to be some sort of intelligent life out there other than us. But then if you can agree on that with people, the next question would be, do you think that any of that intelligent life has at any point during our Earth's creation come to Earth? Not necessarily do you think that they made contact with us, but do you think alien life has ever come to Earth yet?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. Sure.
You ever watch any of the?
But
you ever seen any of the old ancient civilizations and all like how they would build their buildings, and like everything's perfect. Everything's perfect, and it's like this is a time when, to our knowledge at least, they should have had like sticks and stones as tools, and it's like it's completely mind-boggling.
There's a lot of stuff that we don't have answers for that could probably, like, those could be the answers. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. And also, like, being, and that's one of my questions, like, being someone that's, like, spiritual and, like, believing in God and stuff like that, like, I do think, I mean, like, I know people talk about, like, do you think there's angels or, like, that live among us and, like, stuff like that? Like, I don't know, like, that could also be a thing, or...
Well, I've always wondered, what if God is an alien?
Is the alien.
And like when they talk in the Bible, when they talk about like the beam of light coming down from heaven and the ascension and stuff like that, what if that's like what we hear of in abduction stories, and like that light coming down from the spaceship and like, not for lack of better words, sucking them up to the spaceship, but lifting them off the ground into the spaceship? And what if then heaven is just another planet? Yeah. And angels are the fellow aliens that help this main leader alien that we view as God. I mean, it's
like, if that's like just how like we like humans like rationalize and like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Anything really is possible, but
I think there's so much that goes on that like our brains just can't comprehend.
Oh, for sure.
Just really like make sense of it. Like I'm like, and I think aliens and angels and God and aliens and all that crazy stuff, I think that's definitely a thing that like we just, it's such a big concept that we can't. Do you think, is it 59? Do you think they're really holding aliens? Is it 59?
No, I think it's 51.
51, Area 59.
I think it's 51 because it was Studio 54 was the drugged out nightclub.
Yes.
So I think it's 51, but I get what you're saying.
Are they holding aliens there? Like the riots?
See, I don't know. I don't know if they're, well, one, if they are now, probably not. If they ever have, I don't know. But I do definitely think that they've got some stuff out there that even they can't explain. And I live near Wright Pat Air Force Base.
Okay.
And that's where it's said that they brought the wreckage and the bodies from the aliens from Roswell to. And it's supposed to be there in a hangar there at Wright Pat right now. But that's always just been rumors and all that kind of stuff. I had a teacher in school whose husband in the Air Force and worked on that base, and he said that it was top secret. No one talked about what was in there or talked about it at all. But I mean, so that was never confirmation as to what was in that hangar, but it just adds to the mystery and the oddness of it all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely think that there's wreckage and there's stuff that we've discovered that we don't know where it came from, whether it came from another country who was, trying to develop some kind of weird new technology. I don't know. But I mean, they say that all of our technology we have now came from technology that we've found from UFOs and stuff like that. And, that's what's led to the computers and the touch screen and the all of the compact chips and just all the stuff where we're at today. And that there's so much more that they can do now and that we can do in the future. It's just a huge mystery, but you've got to think that I don't know how fast our technology did advance in such a short amount of time. It does seem really odd.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more as life goes
I hope
on.
so. I hope we find out that there's, for good or bad. I would rather it be for good, but I don't want a War of the Worlds type situation. But it would be really awesome to find out the truth about some of this stuff and string theory. There's all kinds of stuff like that, like string theory and bending the universe to travel long distances that we could never, ever travel because we can't get that fast. We'll never discover if any of that's true, but imagine if in 3 years we broke all that stuff and we discovered that like string theory shit is real and that we can somehow bend the universe and go to other galaxies, imagine how insane that would be. I know. But, imagine how insane that would be if that happened. It'd be more likely in your lifetime, but I mean, I'm going to, I'll be dead by the time you get to be my age probably. But yeah, it would be mind blowing. But then again, like you were saying, our brains wouldn't be able to comprehend that crap. Yeah. I mean, and there's so much of our brains that we already don't use right now. Imagine if we could access all of that. But, then they say like the DMT and how back in the day in the 50s, 60s, back in that time when post-World War II and all that there was a place in San Francisco where all the top scientific minds would go and they would smoke DMT and that would put them in contact with the other people. I can't remember what they called them, but these other beings from other dimensions who would like open up these other dimensions, portals to other dimensions to them and stuff. And I mean, but then you got to get into, well, is that just the DMT opening, those parts of your brains that we don't use and those are just manufactured things? Or is that for real opening a portal and other beings are communicating with them? Who knows, man? They could have just been really high on drugs. But, it's so interesting talking or even just listening to people talk about all the dimensions and the infinite realities and just, I don't know, alternate realities and how this is happening in another reality somewhere else. And it's all crazy. I love it all. I listen to Joe Rogan podcast a lot. And he has a lot of people like that on there.
I'm just like, I have no idea in my head.
Well, it's so interesting. And then, like, another thing is like as far as the civilizations and stuff and how they seemed so advanced with their building of stone buildings and stuff like that. Well, have you ever seen Battlestar Galactica, the reboot TV show? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to spoil it for you real quick. And for anyone else out there, sorry, but the way it ended was, all of these people who had been looking for a new planet, they found Earth. They found a planet to live on, which turned out to be our Earth. And it turned out that they had been doing this. Their civilizations had been advanced and then wiping themselves out with nuclear weapons and war over and over and over again. And it ended with them coming to our Earth and starting completely over with the primitive species, human-like species here. And they ditched all of their technology, and then they advanced through civilization, and they got to 2000 and whatever year it was when that final episode ended. So that makes you think, I mean, you never know, but could it have been a situation where maybe we have had advanced civilizations like we have now, or maybe even further advanced than we are now, have been on Earth but have been wiped out over and over again by either nuclear wars or impacts from asteroids or meteors, natural disasters of any kind? You know, I mean, we will never know. And imagine if that were true, that there were people who had cell phones and even stuff more advanced than we have now, like millions of years ago. And then they were wiped out and we never had a clue. And we just all had to start over from scratch again. I don't know. That's an interesting thought to me too.
Yeah. That's so much.
I know it's a lot to wrap your head around, but it's really cool stuff. I'm totally interested in all that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, that'd be, well, we'll see in 100 years or so. Well, we won't, but
yeah, we won't, but somebody will.
Somebody will. So we can ask a couple quick questions. Are you a cat or dog person, or neither?
I was a cat person growing up my entire life. I have a cat right now. Okay. But I got a dog in 2002 or 2003. I got a dog for the first time, and she just passed away 2 years ago. So I had her for like 15. I had her for 14 years or so, and she was 16. I adopted her when she was 2. And she converted me. I am just 100% a dog person now. I love cats. Like I said, I've still got my cat sitting here looking at me right now, wanting me to pet her. But that dog, she is the greatest thing that has ever been in my life. And I want her. I still want her back so bad. And I would like to have another dog someday, but I mean, I honestly don't know how long it would be before I could bring myself to get another one. I don't think I could go through that heartbreak again. She just was the greatest thing ever. So, but she converted me. I'm a dog person now. She was just the most beautiful dog, beautiful blue eyes. I adopted her on the day before it was Christmas Eve. I adopted her, and she was the next dog scheduled to be put down the day after Christmas. And I was just I was like, no. I was like, there's no way. I'm like, I'm taking her. And I had her for like 14 years. She moved out to Washington State with me when I lived there for a year, and it was literally just me and her in a house for a year by ourselves, and it was amazing. We fought a raccoon together. She got in a fight with a groundhog once, and I ended it by putting 10 hollow points in it. So we've fought together side by side, and I don't know. I could talk about her forever. So anyway, she was just the greatest thing.
I'm definitely
what about
a dog
you?
Person. Dogs
nice.
All the way. I don't understand cats. I'm starting to understand cats, but I just like animals I can like cuddle with and like that are just obsessed with me. And cats are so like, don't touch me. I mean, there are some like if you get them as a kitten, people say like they like to cuddle with you, but every time like my best friend has a cat and that cat has learned to like really like me, and I like that cat a lot now. But at first it was a struggle because I'm like, I just want you to cuddle with me. And the cat's like, no.
Yeah, cats are jerks. I mean, cats can be sweet, but they're jerks. Just
they're so mean.
yeah. They'll jump up on the shelf and they'll stand there and they'll just nonchalantly swipe something off the counter and then look the other way and lick their paw like, what? I don't know what's going on. Terrible jerky cats.
Do you have another question?
Have you ever been kicked out of a bar?
No.
What?
Well,
you're not doing it right. You're not going to bars right then.
No, I don't really ever go to bars.
Me neither, but I've still been kicked out of them before.
You have?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Did you cause a fight? Were you drunk?
Oh, no, it was never my fault. It was just people I was with. But I mean,
no, I've never been kicked out.
Well, one time, that turned out bad, but I don't know. But yeah, I've been kicked out of bars, and none of it ever because of me. I'm not a big drinker, never have been, but when I drink, I get quiet. Like when I get drunk, I get quiet because I don't like loud drunks, loud and rowdy and stupid drunks. And that's why I don't drink very much. And that's also why when I do get drunk, I'm quiet because I don't want to be that loud jerk. So, but yeah, I've been kicked out of a few bars. Yeah. Good times too. I mean, hey,
that sounds terrible.
No, like I said, if you're not going to a bar right if you ain't getting kicked out a little bit. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a fun question. I don't know. How do you feel about watching movies or TV shows on your phone?
I don't like it, and I only do it if I'm like in a doctor waiting room or something like that, or if I only do it when I'm in public and I'm in a waiting room, or if I have to sit in my car and I'm waiting for someone or something like that. Otherwise, I don't really care for it. It's too small, and I already wear glasses. And it's just highly annoying to me. That, and I don't like pocket computers. I miss cell phones. And I mean, you're talking to a guy who had a frickin' pager at one point in his life. So, and I can't stand all the technology crap. I can't stand when people have their noses in their pocket computers all the time. I just miss when a phone was a phone and all it did was call people, and it was simple.
I remember
times were simple then, but now it's like literally it's a computer in your pocket and people do everything except call people on their cell phones, and it's like, really what's going on? Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah. I love my cell phone. I don't know. Is that bad?
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I am, like, very dependent on it, but I do get super overwhelmed with it a lot of the time. And I just, especially now with, like, there's so much going on in my life and people are, like, messaging me. And, I mean, like, I'm in the middle of trying to, like, find a house right now. So I have, like, constant messages and stuff like that. I just get super overwhelmed and I'll just, like, shut down and won't, like, look at my phone or text people back, and then people are like get annoyed.
Right.
I feel bad. But I mean, it definitely does. Like, I'll just kind of be like, okay, Sarah, like, put your phone down. Like, just like, and I never thought I was that person that's like, I need to constantly be on my phone all the time. But I've realized that if I'm out with friends or stuff, like, I'll just pick up my phone and be looking at it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, talk to your friend. Like, put your phone down. Like,
yeah.
Why? And I think, like, it's so crazy because I don't even realize I'm doing it until I'm, like, on Facebook looking at something. And I'm like, my friend's sitting right there. Like, what am I doing? Like, it's insane. But
yeah, it's annoying hanging out with people who have their nose buried in their phone all the time. Well, it's okay. I don't hang out with you in real life, so I don't care. But if I did, I'd be like, dude, put it away.
But I really try to be conscious of it. Like, I really am. Like,
yeah.
Stop. But I only basically watch things on my phone. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, that is my main thing. I watch all kinds of movies, mainly TV shows. I think I'm getting annoyed with watching movies. on like a small screen. But watching like TV shows, depending on what they are, I'll just watch them on my phone. Like I'll just prop my phone up and watch it off of that. That way, because I can watch it wherever I am. Like if I'm just walking around the house, like I can just look at it on my phone. Like I can do things, and yeah, like or like right now, like I'm packing stuff up, so I just look at it on my phone. But mainly, like I'm just listening to podcasts or like YouTube stuff anyway, so I just listen to it on my phone. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have one last question? We'll do one last question each, and then call it.
What is the best pickup line that has ever been used on you?
Oh no! Oh.
Or how did your husband pick you up? How did he? Either one. What's the best pickup line that's worked on you, or how did your husband pick you up?
I honestly don't think I got pickup lines. Like, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I can't think of like the best pickup line. Maybe because they were just not the ones I did get were just didn't make an impression. I don't know.
Right.
I don't really
Very few of them do. You got to be really smooth to make a pickup line work.
Oh yeah, no. Especially like the guys that are like so confident, and you're just like, oh no, like no. Okay, so I guess I'll answer the other part of that question. How did my husband pick me up? So we worked together. I'll keep the story short. We worked together at the Chick-fil-A, and I actually I had a huge crush on him at first, and we joke about it all the time. Like he didn't know who I was, but I had a huge crush on him, and then 2 years later, nothing really ever happened. And there's a 2-year age difference, and he's younger than I am.
Lucky guy. Dude, if you're listening to this, dude, good score, man. Good job, bud.
He's 2 years younger than me. So when he started at Chick-fil-A, he was 17 and I was 19, and I was like,
hold on, Sarah. Dude, yes, man. If you're listening to this, dude, yes. Excellent job, dude. Excellent work, brother.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you can go on.
So I was like, oh, he's really cute, but he's 17, and I don't know, that's just that's illegal right now, but whatever. So we still talk to each other and stuff, but 2 years went by, and 2 or a year and a half, whatever, and I dated 2 other guys, and he dated someone else, and things just didn't work out. And so I was actually, I guess I'll tell this part of it. I was actually in a relationship with someone at the time, and it was not going well, but I didn't realize the relationship wasn't going well. To me, everything was fine, but in reality, it wasn't.
Right.
So my husband's name is Nick. So Nick, he was single, and one of my coworkers and close friends was talking to him at work, and I wasn't there, and told him that was Sarah has a crush on you, which wasn't true at the time. But I mean, I was still interested and still thought he was really cute and stuff like that. And we started kind of talking again before that. And I was like, oh yeah, this Nick kid, he still works here. He's fun, but I was in a relationship. So she out of nowhere was like, would you date anyone here? And he was like, well, I think Sarah's really cute, but she has a boyfriend. And then that's when she was like, well, Sarah really likes you and thinks you're really cute. And he's like, oh really? And she's like, yeah, you should hit her up or whatever. And so she's texting me while I'm not there, and she's like, I told Nick that you like him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm in a relationship. I'm really happy in my relationship. She's like, no, just break up with him. Date Nick. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, no, thank you. So Nick actually, he messaged me that night and said, hey, I heard you're interested in me. I'm definitely interested in you if you want to go on a date sometime. And he knew I had a boyfriend. And I said, hey, that's really sweet of you, but I'm really happy in my relationship. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, if something happens, like, let me know. Like, I'm still, like, interested. And I'm like, okay, like, not thinking anything was going to happen. But me and that guy ended up breaking up, like, a couple weeks later anyway. So, as soon as, like, we broke up, the next day I had to go into work, and I was a mess the whole day at work. I was, like, crying. It was really bad. And, but I've still, like, had that little, like, interested in Nick. And I knew he still really liked me, so I told him, and I said, oh yeah, so-and-so, like, he just broke up with me last night. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and just kind of, like, turned around and walked away. So I was like, oh, I guess he's not interested in me anymore. Like, okay, cool, whatever. And now he tells me that he was, but he didn't want me to see him, like, get excited that I just got dumped.
Right, yeah.
He's like, I had to play it cool. Like, I didn't want you to think I was interested. Like, I was happy for you. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So then, like, a couple weeks after that, we were doing something. We were, like, hanging out with a group of friends, and I, like, took him back to his car because his car was parked somewhere else. So I drove him back to his car, and we're sitting in his car. And at this point, I didn't think he liked me at all. Like, I just thought, like, he's moved on. And he like, looks at me. He's like, so, do you want to go on a date? And I look at him, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? And he's like, do you want to go on a date? Like, I really like you. I want to go out with you. And I was like, oh, I didn't think you were interested, because when I told you I was single, you just kind of walked away. And he's like, no, I'm very, very interested, very excited. So I was like, okay. So then we went on a date, and he pulled out all the stops, and, like, was a complete jet, like, opened the door for me, like, every time I get in his car, and, like, gave me a rose, which is, like, my favorite flower. He was like, I'm pulling out all the stops. I was like, okay. Like, and yeah. So basically, he just was upfront and was like, hey, let's go out. Like, I want to go out with you. And
hey, whatever works, man.
And it worked. And, like, I was upfront with him, and I was like, look, I don't think I'm in the mindset to, like, be dating someone right now, because I literally, like, jumped from relationship to relationship, not on my own accord, but it just kind of happened that way. And I was like, I am not looking to get into another relationship. And he was like, oh, just go out with me on one date, like, I'll change your mind, like, trying to be real smooth. And I'm like, okay. Okay, whatever. But so
that's awesome.
So, gentlemen out there, just be upfront, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey.
But that's some people like that cheesy stuff. Like, I mean, I like it. If it lands, it lands. Like,
yeah.
If it's that cheesy, like, I like the one that's like, if you were a pirate, what shoulder would you put your parrot on, this shoulder or that shoulder? The hand, like, around her, like the rest your arm.
All right, I
like that. Like, that's cheesy. Like, I'm like, okay, that's cute. Like,
yeah. See, one of mine that I used the most was hey, so you want to get a bottle in a hotel room and see what happens?
No.
Totally kidding, of course, but, you know, I'd always go for the crazy icebreakers, or, like, I had a gut on me. I mean, I'm a bigger guy now, but I wasn't that bad when I was in my 20s and whatnot, but I had a little gut on me, and I'd go up to a chick and I'd pat my gut, and I'd be like, hey, want to check out my keg, instead of, like, a 6-pack or something. I'd be like, want to check out my keg.
That's okay. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny.
So I was doing cheesy stuff like that, intentionally cheesy, trying to break the ice and stuff like that. So
I think if you're intentional about it and it comes off that you're just messing around, I think that works better than guys that are like, this is totally gonna work, like, so, like, serious about it, and you're like, dude, it's not. Like,
yeah.
Like, it all just depends on your, like, line delivery.
Yep, I agree.
And we'll just do a final question. Is Disney World really the happiest place on Earth?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No, although I went there as a kid, I was probably 5 or 6 or something, and it at the time, yes, it was the most amazing place on earth. I cried when we had to leave.
Oh.
It was the greatest time of my life as a kid. So,
do you remember, like, being there Like, do you have memories of it when you were like
Oh, yeah.
5 or 6? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I remember it all, man. I remember the first ride we rode was the Space Mountain. I remember that. I can't remember what it's called, but that like the minor cars, the like roller coaster where you
Big Thunder Mountain, is that what it
yes,
is?
yeah, that.
Like
I remember the teacup ride. I remember like Goofy and Mickey and Pluto and Chip and Dale. Not the dancers, but the chipmunks.
Yes.
And I remember the Small World. It's a Small World ride that made me cry.
Ride.
That was the last thing we rode before we left.
It made you cry?
Like, yeah, because it was the last thing that we were riding before we left, and I'm a little kid, and it's like, it's a world of laughter, and it's just like, I'm just like, I don't want to leave. This is the greatest place ever.
So yeah, it is the happiest place.
Well, when you're a kid and you're there, yes, but once you grow older, it's like, nah, there are other places I'd rather be.
Oh, I'm a huge Disney person. I love Disney World. We actually went there on our honeymoon. I was like, can we go to Disney? Like,
oh, that's awesome.
He was like, yeah, sure, why not? But I have a theory that, like, or not a theory, I don't know. I don't understand people that take their like 2-year-old children to Disney, or like really young kids, or even like 5 or 6. Because the first time I went to Disney, I was 18. On my senior trip in high school. My parents were like, we're not paying for you to go to Disney. Like, we already did it. Like, you can do it on your own. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so like for me, I like remember even at 18, like there's so much. Like, even as an adult, it's crazy insane. But like, I definitely appreciate it. And that's why my parents did it, because they're like, we want you to go at an age that you're going to really appreciate it. And because my husband said he went at like 8 or 9 and he didn't remember anything. Like, he didn't remember anything about it. So I think it's kind of a gamble, like, because you said you went at 5 and you remember everything. So
well, yeah, and I mean, I had begged to go, and we had like a big jar that we would put change in, and it took over a year for us to get enough money to go, like our whole family.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, I wanted to go so bad. And then I grew out of Disney as I started getting older. So if I'd have gone when I was a teenager, it's Bambi, man. It's all Bambi's fault. All goes back to Bambi. But yeah, I just, if I would have went when I was older, it would have been completely wasted on me. I just wouldn't have appreciated it like I did. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it does depend on the person. 'Cause I think like, now, like I love Disney. I definitely understand it's not the happiest place on earth, like, because it's just, I mean, it's so entertaining just to watch like parents like take their young kids and the kids are like screaming and crying, and the parents are like, we spent a lot of money to bring you here. Like, oh, it's so entertaining. I'm like, this is great. Like, because I feel the same way, because I'm like, yeah, well, I paid to come here, so I'm gonna get my money's worth. Like,
yep.
But on that note, leaving the happiest place on earth and the happiest podcast. I don't know if that's true, but whatever.
And we'll claim it anyway, even if it's not.
Yes, we are the happiest podcast on the earth. Yeah, so J Wade, where can the people find you if they want to find you? That sounds creepy.
I hope you want to find me. As long as you're nice to me, I don't care if you stalk me. So if you would like to stalk me, you may do so on the Twitter at jwade1134. That is the letter J, WADE 1134.
And you can find me on Twitter at SCBOC, so it's SSEABOCK. And you can find this show and more at the Merc with a Movie Blog feed on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Play. We also have our episodes on YouTube on the Merc with a Movie Blog channel. Just go to Anchor, like I always say. It's just a lot easier, I assume. And Spotify. I think Spotify is pretty easy to find podcasts as well. So, that's going to be the end of us here, but we will be back next week to continue talking about Hannah Brown. Hopefully she stays on for so much longer, so we have so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you everyone for listening. Remember, go and get that rose. Goodbye.